Dear students, today we learn the peep and change operation of stack. What do you mean by peep? Peep means to display the ith element from top of stack. Here the name of algorithm is peep and it requires the four different parameters. S is the stack, top is a pointer which pointing to the top element of stack, and I is the ith element that we have to display, and item is one of the temporary variable. In the first step, first of all, you have to check whether the stack is empty or not. If the stack is already empty, then you cannot display the ith element from the top of stack, and stack becomes underflow. So at first step, you have to check for the underflow. So what is the condition? The condition is if top minus I plus 1 is less than or equal to 0. If the condition is true, then stack is empty. And if the condition is false, then just go to the second step and assign here the top element to the item. And at the third step, you just return the item. Now here I take one example. Suppose I want to display the third element from the top of stack. So what is the underflow condition? Or now you have to check for the underflow condition. Suppose here the value of top is 4 and I is 3. So now you calculate 4 minus 3 plus 1. 4 minus 3 becomes 1. 1 plus 1 becomes 2. And 2 is less than or equal to 0? No. Condition becomes false. And so you just execute the second step. And now you just assign that the value of top minus I plus 1, that is equal to 2. So you just assign S of 2 to the item. And you just print it. You just return that item. In the next operation, change operation, if you want to change the particular ith element from the top of stack, then you must use the change algorithm. The first, once again here, you have to check for the stack empty or not. If the stack is already empty, then you cannot change the ith value from the top of stack. So first of all, you have to check for the underflow. The same condition is again here. If top minus I plus 1 is less than or equal to 0. If the condition is true, then stack is empty. Then stack is underflow and just exit. If the condition becomes false, then you go to the next step. And at the second step, you just assign the new item to the stack element. And just next step is you just stop. Now once again here I take the same previous example. Suppose I want to change the third value from the top of stack, and the value of top is 4. So 4 minus 3 plus 1 is less than or equal to 0. And now you just evaluate. 4 minus 3, that is equal to 1. 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2. And 2 is less than or equal to 0? No. Condition becomes false. And now you just assign your new item to the S of 2 position. Applications of stack. There are various applications of the stack, but I take some examples. I take some applications of the stack which are frequently used. The first application is recursion. Conversion of infix to postfix expression, evaluation of postfix expression, evaluation of prefix expression, and the last one is quicksort method. Now we see one by one. The first application is recursion. All of us are very familiar with the concept of recursion. Since from last 2 years, you have already learned the concept of recursion. The recursion is a process of solving any problem by calling same function again and again until some breaking condition reaches, where the recursion stops and it starts calculating the solution from there on. You simply remember that recursion is a process of calling same function again and again within its body. The one thing is very important here, and that is you have to specify the breaking condition. Means compiler should know where to stop, and that's why the best condition, breaking condition, is very important to stop the recursion. A popular example of recursion is calculation of factorial of a given numbers. Some other examples are towers of Hanoi, in-order, pre-order, post-order tree traversals, DFS graph. So, which topics we will see later in the next units. In recursion, the last function called needs to be completed first. Means in the recursion, the last function called evaluates first. Means the last function calls will solve first. And now you know the stack is LIFO structure. Means last in first out structure. Means the value which is inserted at last will be deleted first, and hence it is used to implement the recursion. And now you will get clear in the next slide with the example. Just I already told you that in case of recursion, the very important thing is that you have to specify the breaking condition. And why we use the recursion? Suppose you have a very big problem assigned, and now you have to find out the solution. So in that case, in case of the bigger problem, that bigger problem is expressed in terms of the smaller problems with the help of this recursion. And therefore, the recursion is generally used to express the bigger problem in terms of the smaller problems. In the left side, I have given some code of the recursion of factorial of number, and at right part just I have given the execution, means how exactly this code is executed by taking some example, and this is also called as the dry run. So first you understand the code. Here I design the function fact. The name of function is fact. It takes the one parameter of the type integer. As it is the recursion, as it is the function, it must return the value. And that's why here I take the return data type as an integer. The breaking condition is here I used as if n is less than or equal to 1. Then return 1, means once the value of n becomes less than 1, then it returns the value 1. Otherwise, it returns n into fact of n minus 1. See here, this fact I call fact of n minus 1, and here with this part I call the same fact function again and again within its body, and therefore it is called as the recursion. And now we just see the tracing. Here I take the value of n as a 3, and I want to find out the factorial of 3. All of you know that the value or the factorial of 3 is 6. But how it is true with this recursion? So at the first call, what happens? The value of n that is equal to 3, that would be passed to the function. And first of all, the compiler checks if 3 is less than or equal to 1. No, the condition becomes false. So it directly jumps to the else part, and it just returns n into fact of n minus 1. What is the value of n? The value of n is 3 into fact of 3 minus 1, means 3 minus 1 means 2, and therefore in the first point at right side I write here 3 factorial equal to 3 into 2 factorial. And similarly, your control goes back to the fact with the new value n equal to 2. Once again, the first condition is false, so it directly jumped to the else part. And now at the second point, 2 into 2 minus 1, that is equal to 1 factorial. So we will get at the second point 2 factorial equal to 2 into 1 factorial. Similarly, in the third step, we will get 1 factorial equal to 1 into 0 factorial. And at the fourth call, we get 0 factorial, that is equal to 1. And now according to the last in first out structure of stack, here the third step will be evaluated first, that is equal to 1 factorial. 1 factorial equal to 1 into 0 factorial means 1. 1 into 1, that is equal to 1. Now it evaluates the second step, 2 factorial, and that is equal to 2, and then it evaluates the first step recursively, 3 factorial, and that is equal to 3 into 2 into 1, and finally you will get the output as a 6. Means recursively it uses the function, and therefore it is called as the recursion. The next application is conversion of infix to postfix. But before going to the infix to postfix, first of all, you understand the basic terms infix notation, prefix notation and postfix notation. What do you mean by the infix notation? As generally we in the mathematics we have frequently used the infix notations. So in these notations, the operator symbol is appear in between the two operands, and an expression in which the operator symbol is in between two operands is called infix expression. For example, you see here a plus b, c into d. So this plus operator is placed in between a and b, and therefore it is the infix notation. And similarly for c into d, here the star operator is placed in between the two operands c and d, and therefore these two are the examples of infix notation. In means between. The operator symbol is placed in between the operands. The next term is prefix notation. It is also called as the Polish notation. In this notation, operator symbol is placed before its operand. Pre means before, and therefore the operator symbol is placed before all its operands. And the expression in which the operator symbol is placed before its operand is called as prefix expression. And the examples are plus AB star CD. And now you see that the plus is the operator which is placed before the both operands A and B. And similarly for star CD, star is the operator which is placed before the two operands C and D, and it is also called as the Polish notation. Next one is the postfix notation. It is also called as the reverse Polish notation. In this notation, the operator is placed after all operands. Post means after. An expression in which the operator symbol is placed after its operands is called as postfix expression. In the example, you see AB plus means this plus operator is placed after its both operands. CD star, CD multiply operator, here the multiply operator is placed after both the operands CD. The notations are very simple to uh, very simple to understand. Pre means just you remember that all the operators are placed before the operands. Post means all the operators are placed after all the operands, and infix means the operator symbol is placed in between the operands. And now we see the examples on this. Here I take the two examples, and just we have to convert these two examples into the prefix and postfix, into the Polish notation and reverse Polish notation. The first example, first we see A plus B into C, and just I have to convert that infix expression into the prefix. First of all, you fit into your mind that pre means before, means you have to put the operator symbol before its operands. And first of all, you have to solve the bracket. So I solve the bracket first, B into C. So as it is a prefix, then I write first the multiply operator and then BC. Now the expression becomes A plus into bracket star BC. And for the easier, for your easy convention, just I take some assumption. Let X equal to star BC. Then the expression becomes a plus x. And now you convert that a plus x into the prefix. So this plus appears before both the operands ax. So plus ax. And now you just replace the value of x by star bc, and hence finally you will get plus a star bc. Similar steps for the another example, a plus b slash c minus d. Here first you solve the brackets first. The first bracket is a plus b, means in prefix it becomes plus ab, and for the second bracket it becomes minus cd. The same conventions I used once again here. You just assume that x equal to plus ab means first bracket and y equal to minus cd means second bracket, so that the term becomes x slash y. And in the in the prefix notation the expression becomes slash xy. So finally you will get slash plus ab minus cd. And now we convert the infix into the postfix. Now you fit into your mind that post means after, means you just put the operator after all the operands. Here you just solve first the bracket b into c. As it is the postfix, I write here BC star because the operator is placed after the operands. So BC star. The expression becomes A plus BC star. And once again here I let x equal to BC star. Hence your expression becomes A plus x. And as it is A plus x, in postfix you can easily write AX plus. And after you just replace the value of x. So finally you will get A, then x, value of x is bc star, so bc star and then plus. And similarly for the second example you just solve the bracket first. So first bracket I will get the value ab plus, and for second bracket I will get the value cd minus. You just let the assumptions x equal to first bracket and y equal to second bracket, and then it becomes a very easy to solve because the expression is x division y. And in postfix you will get xy slash, and you just replace the value of xy and then write the slash. X value is ab plus, y value is cd minus, and then slash. Thank you. In the next video, you will learn about how to convert infix to postfix expression.